So we're learning more heartbreaking details about some of the 15 people killed in the New Year Day terror attack in New Orleans. First father of two, Reggie Hunter, was on Bourbon Street celebrating the start of 2025 with his cousin when he was killed. That's according to his family.
And the New York Post reporting that Louisiana native Tiger Besh was in his home state for the holidays. He is a former Princeton football player. And 18-year-old Nakira Dado had just graduated high school. She had reportedly snuck off to Bourbon Street to ring in the new year. She had been pursuing a career as a nurse and was described as a ball of sunshine.
Nicole Perez was celebrating with friends. She leaves behind a 4-year-old son. Other victims identified include Kareem Badawi, a recent graduate from a Baton Rouge Episcopal School, and Hubert Gothrow, whose family shared on social media that his remains were found at a medical center after being reported missing, and 25-year-old Matthew Tenadori, who worked as a technician at the Superdome in New Orleans, where the Sugar Bowl was supposed to be played last night.
The other victims' identities have not yet been released. We're keeping their families in our prayers this morning.
Just horrific. And so many of those lives lost way too soon. That young man, a graduate of Princeton, a football player, and a girl who just simply went out to go have fun on New Year's Eve. Just horrific as we continue to learn more details. And a reminder that there's 15 dead, so many more suffering really serious injuries. And we really are anticipating an update on all of them as soon as possible.
A stark and painful reminder of the consequences of terrorism. Let's bring in Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry live from New Orleans. Governor, we want to get to the very latest, but as we just read those names, bringing home the realities of the tragedy that occurred just over 24 hours ago, take your governor hat off for me. How is this impacting you?
Yeah, look, taking my governor hat off and putting my father hat on, I can tell you it's a somber day here in the city and around Louisiana. I mean, we have parents that are going to have to, that are making funeral arrangements as we speak, that are waiting to have their loved ones released to them. And again, I mean, each of those is a reminder of the terrorism that exists and people and the evil out there that they want to afflict on America. And so, again, we continue to have an outpouring of prayer and support for those families. Again, as you walk through that list, a lot of those are Louisianians. I'm going to be going over to the crime scene again this morning and walking through it. Hoping to maybe reach out and talk to some of those parents as well and to make sure that they're getting the support that they need so that they can start to work on some closure. And but again, you know, it's prayers and support, and the only thing that'll get them through is our faith.
You know, Governor, we're praying for your state. I'm from the state of Texas, and so we're neighbors. Know Bourbon Street all too well. It's known as a happy place, and you can have a good time there. I want to get your thoughts on the investigation. There's a lot of back and forth about the state of emergency, but still having the game as well. We were told that there are co-conspirators that are out there based on the information that you're getting. Is there still a threat of people that helped this guy do this out there in Louisiana?
Look, I think one of the most important things is to make sure that each one of those victims did not die in vain. All of them had come to the city in order to enjoy the city, in order to enjoy some entertainment and ring in the new year. Y'all had a guest earlier who was an eyewitness who said the same thing, is that we can't live in fear. We need to be able to live our lives. And what we plan to do is ensure that as we remember those folks, that we put New Orleans back in a position where people can come and have a good time. We believe that the city, I'm convinced that the city is safe. Look, this can happen in any city. But we, you know, I issued an executive order an emergency declaration. We've got 100 military police officers that are on the ground. Our sheriffs from around the state have sent additional resources. The FBI has been pouring resources into this city since yesterday. We're getting some more today as well. I'm hoping to give the media an update on that, hopefully mid-morning. We're hoping to have more information to be able to give to the media. We want transparency. We want the answers. I know that there are a lot of people out there that want the answers, why, what happened. And we're going to get to those, but we want to make sure that we don't impede the investigation as we move forward.
Governor, Sandra here, thank you so much for your time this morning. We know there's obviously a lot happening right at this hour as far as the federal investigation on the ground there. But to your point, in your words, you're hunting the bad people down. There was a suggestion that there are more people involved, that this was somehow a coordinated effort. What can you tell us about that right now?
Yeah, you know, Sandra, as much as I'd like to be able to report that, the one thing we don't want to do is put out speculation or information that we have not been able to confirm. And that is what I think is important, because if we put something out and then it comes out to be not true or not completely accurate, then we're back inside of a pretty bad news cycle, right? And we're giving people, and especially those families out there, mixed emotions and mixed information. So what we want to do is make sure that the information we put out to y'all is completely accurate so that we can get to some closure. I can tell you this. We're going to ensure that everyone who is involved in this horrific act of terrorism is going to be held accountable.
Yeah,
Governor,
I'm sorry, Giff, real quick, Governor, I hate to jump on you, but there's conflicting information. On one hand, you're telling the people that it is safe, but then you have co-conspirators that are out there. And then to layer on that of getting all the information, we just had your Attorney General, your Chief Law Enforcement Officer, that says she hasn't even been briefed about those people that they brought into custody. So if your Chief Law Enforcement Officer is not being briefed about the people that are out there, how can the people have confidence?
Well, look, I can tell you this. I am in the city right now. I'm going to attend the Sugar Bowl this afternoon. I will be around. We are going to be briefing the media, hopefully about mid-morning. I don't know about the comments that the Attorney General made. Again, that's part of why we try not to engage in speculation. I think that every one of the elected officials should use the information that they're getting directly from law enforcement, directly from the Louisiana State Police and the FBI, and not continue to feed on innuendos. I've been trying to be couched in the information that I report back to the media specifically because of that. What I can tell you is that we believe that based upon the information that we're getting from the federal government and my Louisiana State Police, that this city is as safe as it's been. Look, this can happen in any city. Look, we had an incident in Las Vegas on yesterday. But I can tell you this, there are a lot more resources and law enforcement officers in the city of New Orleans right now than they were 24 hours ago. Again, you know, at the end of the day, we need not let fear paralyze us. That's the problem in this country.
Right.
When we do that, the terrorists win.
I understand that point, and there is, Governor, two sides of that argument, the safety and security and, of course, the resilience in not letting the terrorists win. But, you know, you mentioned Las Vegas, just hours apart, a couple of time zones apart. The country started the year with terror attacks, and it frightened them. And so I'm asking you, are you getting real-time information in briefings from the federal investigators about whether or not there may be any connection between Las Vegas and what happened in your city?
Look, we're getting briefings. I'm getting briefings from the FBI almost on an hourly basis. And again, I'll tell you this, the only way to protect people from evil is to crush it. And believe you me, Inauguration Day can't come soon enough, because the one person that understands that is Donald Trump. I can tell you this too. His Homeland Security pick, Governor Kristi Noem, who I served with in Congress, understands that as well. And they're going to work with us to put policies in place that protect the American people and not the criminals that are out there.
Governor, I know you're heading to the Sugar Bowl tonight. Anything you can share with us about your plans and what security is going to look like?
Look, security is going to be tight. We have all the confidence that we're going to be able to put this game on. The Superdome is completely secure. Again, the FBI continues to pour resources into the state. We hope to update you all sometime today on exactly what those resources look like as best we can. Again, maybe not getting into the specifics, but giving y'all a 50,000-foot view of the amount of resources that have been poured into the city.
We are with you, and we support your efforts, and thank you for everything you're doing there. Our heart breaks for the people of your state and all those who were visiting at the time.
Thank you for your time, Governor.
Thanks, Governor.
Thank you.